She paid for her first-class seat on Flight 713, but when an arrogant businessman shoved her aside and claimed it as his own, the crew sided with him. They laughed, called her a fraud, and threatened to throw her off the plane. But in less than 10 minutes, their smirks vanished, because this young black woman carried a truth so powerful, it crushed the entire airline staff in front of everyone. The polished floors of Dallas-Fort Worth's Terminal E glistened under fluorescent lights as passengers lined up for Flight 713 to New York. In the first-class queue, Dr. Amara Cole clutched her boarding pass for Seat 2F. At just 24, she carried herself with quiet authority, her tailored navy blazer crisp against her skin. Few knew her face, but her name carried weight in aerospace research circles. She had developed propulsion algorithms the airline itself now relied upon. As she approached the boarding gate, a tall, broad-shouldered man in his 60s slid in front of her. His platinum frequent flyer tag dangled like a trophy from his carry-on. Graham Whitby, corporate shark, was known for his booming voice and entitled presence. He turned, glanced at her pass, then smirked. "Sweetheart, first class isn't a raffle. Maybe you're at the wrong gate," he drawled. Amara's jaw tightened. "I have Seat 2F. You can read it yourself." Graham chuckled and waved his pass. "Coincidence. That's my seat." He leaned closer. "Don't make this difficult. The crew will sort it out. And trust me, they know who pays for these cabins." At the boarding door, Amara presented her pass. The gate agent scanned, frowned, then looked at Graham's. Both beeped as valid for 2F. Confusion flickered across her face. Graham pounced. "See? She's trying to scam her way up front. Probably printed something fake." Passengers behind shifted uneasily. Some whispered. Others pulled out phones. The agent radioed for a supervisor. Minutes later, a flight attendant with a sharp bob and sharper tone arrived. "Sir, please, take your seat. Ma'am, you'll need to step aside until we verify." Graham smirked in triumph as Amara was pulled aside. "Told you, happens all the time with people like her." The words sliced the air. A few gasps, a few nods. The supervisor crossed her arms. "Ma'am, unless you can prove otherwise, you'll need to move to the back." Amara inhaled slowly, calm, calculated. From her folder, she pulled the receipt, the confirmation email, and her government-issued ID. Still, the supervisor shook her head. "Doesn't matter. This gentleman's our priority passenger." Graham raised his voice, theatrically offended. "She's impersonating a first-class traveler. You need security now." 2 uniformed officers approached. "Step aside, miss. You're causing a disruption." Phones tilted higher. A teenager muttered, "She's got the proof." His live stream already ticked past 10,000 viewers. Amara didn't argue. She pressed one button on her phone, a simple text, "Now." Within minutes, the air shifted. The chief of airport security, flanked by 2 compliance officers, strode in. The crew stiffened. Graham's grin faltered. "Dr. Cole," the chief said, addressing her directly, "is everything all right?" Murmurs rippled. "Doctor? Who is she?" Amara met his gaze. "Not yet, but it will be." The compliance officer pulled up the airline's database. "Confirmed. Seat 2F is registered under Dr. Amara Cole. The duplicate ticket, processed through an employee override." His eyes snapped to the supervisor. "Who gave authorization?" The supervisor paled. Graham sputtered. "That's ridiculous. I fly this route weekly." "Sit down, Mr. Whitby," the chief commanded, voice like steel. "You're under investigation for fraudulent manipulation of boarding privileges." The live stream counter surged past 50,000. Comments scrolled. "She's calm AF." "Expose him. This is gold." Amara didn't gloat. She stood rooted, her voice measured. Respect isn't given by platinum tags or loud mouths. It's earned by truth. The compliance officer produced cuffs, not for Amara, but for Graham. Gasps exploded. Cameras flashed. The businessman's face burned crimson as he barked. "You can't do this to me." Correction, the officer said flatly. We just did. The supervisor tried to intervene. Surely this is a misunderstanding. Silence, the chief cut in. Every word, every action, every bias has been recorded and broadcast. You violated federal regulations and discriminated against a passenger. Effective immediately, you're suspended. Phones shook in disbelief. The live stream hit 100,000 live viewers. Within the hour, the fallout spread like wildfire. The airline CEO issued a statement suspending the crew, promising policy reform and launching an internal probe. News outlets replayed the footage endlessly. Graham's arrogance, Amara's poise, the moment of reversal. But the most powerful clip wasn't Graham in cuffs. It was Amara, adjusting her blazer, lifting her chin, and walking calmly to seat 2F, as if the chaos behind her didn't exist. She didn't shout. She didn't need to. Her silence thundered louder than their excuses. By the time Flight 713 took off, headlines had already branded it. Black scientist stands ground, airline shaken. And when Amara landed in New York, she was met not with suspicion, but with applause from strangers who had finally seen the truth, unfiltered. If this story shook you as much as it shook that flight, then hit that like button, share it with your friends, and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from and which moment hit you the hardest. Your voice matters. Let's make it louder together.